Question 11. Actually, this one is the second to last. There's 12 questions on this paper. This one is a question we have done in class multiple times. Density required practical. It is one of the required practicals indicated that will be on your exam, so let's make sure we know it really well. We have got this, which is a regular shape, because we can find its volume using a formula, and this is an irregular shape. So we must put the volume must be disperse water. So some kind of method to disperse the water, whereas this one, the volume, is gained from a formula. And in this case, it's a cube, so it's length times width times height. All right, bit of a brief plan. So describe. So we don't need to explain anything. We just need to say what we're going to do. Describe the methods, two methods, and the students should use to calculate the densities of the two objects. All right, so let's start with the metal cube. It's worth 6 marks. As with anything that's worth 6 marks, it's not really about 6 points. It's about making sure that your method is logical, coherent, so it's easy to follow, and that someone could use it to get valid results. That's always the test of a 6 marker. So can it be followed? So we're really looking for a step by step. So the first thing we're going to do for the metal cube is in order to find the density. All right, well, density, we're going to just use the formula. If we go to our data sheet, get rid of that, we can see that density, density is there. Density is mass divided by volume. So we can put that on there. Density, that's a highlighter. Density equals mass divided by our volume. So the metal cube, so in order to do this, we need the mass and the volume of each one. So let's just say 1. To find the mass, place on an electronic balance. All right, point 2. To find the volume. Now this is the regular shape, so use the formula length times width times height. We've not explained how we find those, so we put in brackets the find the lengths using a ruler. Okay, and then 3, find the density using the formula density equals mass divided by volume. All right, so we have done the first one. Run out of space here. This is probably one where you would maybe need the additional sheets at the end of the paper, but let's just see if I can fit it in. So the small statue, it's going to be very similar. We're still going to have to get to the formula. So 1, find mass using an electronic balance. 2, find the volume by placing the statue in water and measuring the volume of water displaced. 1 milliliter of water is 1 centimeter cubed of volume, so that works out quite well. And then exactly the same for step 3. Find density using the formula. Density equals mass divided by volume. All right, that's again, so read it back and check that you've answered it. So have I described the 2 ways? Yeah, I've got each way. Will I find density? Yes, I've described the steps of how to get the mass for each and how to get the volume for each. You could have, in the small statue, you could, rather than saying just place it in water and measure the amount of water displaced, you could have talked about the Eureka can, putting it into Eureka can and getting a tube, a measuring cylinder underneath and measuring the amount of water that comes out of the can. It's the same. It's just how much is displaced. As long as you are saying that you are going to put it in water and measure the amount of water displaced, and that 1 milliliter of water is equal to 1 centimeter cubed, and that's absolutely fine. All right, we've got that one, and on to our last question, question 12.